Okay guys, had a lot of people asking me, sending me private messages and asking in various places about these Paige Pierce putters. Um, how stable are they? How flippy are they? I've kind of described them as a Nova Mirage or even maybe a Stingray. They're pretty flippy and they're pretty glidey. So I'm going to go ahead and throw these compared to several other discs I've got here. I've got a Mirage, a Stingray, some Challengers, a Buzz, a few other mids to kind of compare to. I mean, I know these aren't mids, but it's just kind of generally showing them against some things that are flippy as well. There's a little bit of a tailwind here today, so that'll probably straighten some of them out, but it'll also make some of the other ones more stable than normal. So anyway, well, here we go. So back here in the background, there's like a little hump and a tree that's beyond it there, just kind of straight ahead, right in the middle. I'm just kind of generally aiming that direction. I don't know if I'm necessarily trying to get it to the tree because the tree's pretty far back there, but at least kind of towards the hump, and we'll just see where they end up, left or right, once all of them are thrown and they're all out there. First up, just got a Jawbreaker Challenger. I don't really throw the Jawbreaker Challengers a whole lot, but I do have a few of them. Just go ahead and see what it does. So that one there looked like it ended up being kind of flippy. I mean, it was to the right side of the hump. I'll go ahead and throw a Z Challenger here. It's a brand new one. I don't even know if I've ever thrown this one. And that one there ended up in roughly a similar area, just kind of towards the right side of the hump. Now I'm going to go ahead and throw a Flex Challenger. That's what I normally throw. That one there, you can see it's stable up. Ended up pretty much just right on top of the mound. It's definitely a little bit more stable than either of the other two. So now I'm going to try one of the Paige Pierce putters. Whoa! I don't even know if that one's in frame or not, but the previous ones were slightly right and in the middle, and this one here ended up over here between these two trees over here, straight right of the mound. So I'm going to go back and throw another Flex Challenger and see where that ends up. Yeah, didn't give it enough juice, but just slightly right, but mostly in the middle. Okay, here goes the second Paige Pierce putter. Yep, definitely going right. Okay, now for comparison's sake, I'm going to go ahead and try and throw a few others here. We got a Stingray, a Soul, and a Mirage here. Start off with the Stingray. Now the Stingray, definitely a flippier disc in general, but I'm only throwing it with enough power to get it about to that mound. So it was starting to want to break right, but it didn't have enough power, so it kind of hyzered out in the end and just ended up pretty much right on top of the mound. Next up, I'm going to try the Soul. is flippy. And that's over here to the right, somewhere in the neighborhood of where the Paige Pierce putter ended up, both of them. Lastly, here on the flippy mids, we've got a Mirage. That's way over to the right where the other 3 or 4 were. Okay, so next up, got a flex buzz and a few mids here. We'll see where they end up. I'm going to imagine most of these will probably stable up and be a little further left because I'm not throwing them with a ton of power, but we'll see where they end up. Yep, that one hyzered out left. The Buzz SS. That one ended up kind of turning a little bit right and came back left. It's right in the middle of the mound there. This one I haven't thrown in a long time. The Meteor that I haven't bagged in a long time. See where that ends up. That one ended up hyzering out a little bit. So for comparison again here, I'm going to go back to a Stingray and a Soul. Ended up right in the middle there, and the Soul I do expect to be quite far right again. I let go early. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here is walk on up and see where they ended up, and kind of give me a final tally of where things are and what I think. Okay, so as we're coming up on these here, we got one of the Challengers. That's the Flex Challenger here. The one of the other Challengers, and again, the center of the mound here that I was talking about is right here, and we've got one of the Challengers and the Buzz SS here, so they're right in the middle, and both the Stingrays are just slightly behind, but basically in the middle. Now I'm facing towards the sun here. This was towards the flippy side that I was throwing on. And let's round up some of these. Got one of the Jawbreaker Challengers here to the right. Okay. Got the Soul, or excuse me, that's the Mirage, sorry. Then we have here the Paige Pierce putter, one of them. And keep looking here. One of the others is out here somewhere, probably buried under these leaves. Okay, so after all that, well, here's the lineup. Pretty much about what I thought. Now, again, a couple of these weren't exactly as expected because they are mid-ranges compared to putters, and really I only have just a handful of putters that are anything besides Challengers. So here's what we've got. The Buzzes were definitely the most to the left. There was a little bit of a tailwind here. Then we got the Stingrays, were pretty much side by side. The Meteor, the Buzz SS, they were a little long, but pretty much straight. And we got the 3 challengers here, actually in the 4th jawbreaker, which was all pretty much centralized. One was a little bit to the right. The Soul, the Paige Pierce putters, and the Mirage were definitely the furthest right, which is pretty much what I was saying all along. This Soul right here was a misrelease, so that one ended up extremely left, but that one fell out of my hand. So anyway, that right there is the lineup. Alright guys, so well, what we learned by all that? Really, it's kind of funny because as the discs ended up laying on the ground, I was pretty much predicting that they would lay exactly where they did as far as stability. The one factor I wasn't considering to some degree was that some mids will continue to be extra flippy and some will actually stable out when you're not throwing them with as much power. Yeah, so in general, you know, the Paige Pierce putter, again, I mean, especially if you like low profile putters or mids, I mean, it's not the most comfortable feeling disc overall. I mean, it's not terribly uncomfortable. I mean, it does not have a bead, which is nice, but you know, if you throw these, they're definitely going to go right on you. I mean, one thing I did not do in the video was actually throwing on a hyzer flip. I was kind of going out there just to do this real quick because there was some daylight, and I didn't warm up at all, and I didn't have any hand warmers either. So I mean, I'm glad it even turned out as good as it did. But yeah, I mean, if you like lower profile discs and you don't like beads, then this is a nice putter if you need an understable one. Again, the flight in general between the Pierce putter, the Mirage, even the Discraft Soul, those were all extremely flippy. Now, the one thing that I didn't quite expect was that throwing a little bit lighter there, that the Stingray actually did hyzer out. I mean, it kind of turned a little and then kind of S back, but I mean, it was mostly straight. But the Stingray requires definitely a little bit more beef behind it to be able to keep going. Maybe even a little bit more angle too. The buzz, pretty much as expected, was straight to slightly left, as well as the SS. And the one reason I quit throwing a Meteor was because, at least in the Z plastic, every time I threw a Meteor, they always tended to be more able to hyzer as they slowed down, and ended up being kind of like a more unpredictable buzz for me. I mean, it was like sometimes they would kind of turn over, but yet want to come back and finish hard, and I didn't really want that. That's why I ended up throwing like a Stingray, because usually they end up finishing all the way over to the right, at least when you throw it hard enough. The Discraft Soul, again, it's a crazy right turning disc. I mean, if you want something that's gonna turn right and just never look back and give you more distance than you'll probably get with the Paige Pierce putter, honestly, I mean, the Soul's very, very similar, and it's probably even requires even a little less effort at higher speeds because it is a mid. Anyway, I guess that's pretty much about it. I got a lot of questions about it, and I hadn't really went out and tested it myself, and just want to kind of get out there and do it, and we'll see what the video looks like. I haven't had a chance to review it yet, but yeah, chances are you'll be able to at least see something at only about like 250 feet there. So also shout out to Stupid Tree Disc Golf. If you need any apparel or anything like that, they have these really great fleeces and other things on their website. Check it out.
It's a big blue egg.